Wow, that was enthusiastic. Sorry. Still figuring out the intro for this. Today I decided to do something slightly different. Instead of giving live commentary as I decided to draw and record it with no audio and then do a voiceover. Reasoning for this being mostly with the fact that I didn't have a lot of time this week to do a proper, voiceover drawing thing. It was a lot of stopping and starting due to, home life, so I won't get into that, because that's not important. What is important is drawing. So let's get into that, shall we? Today I decided that I wanted to draw in my sketchbook a bunch of kitsunes. Kitsunes come from Japanese folklore, and I find them really fascinating because they are known to be tricksters and sometimes lucky. But I decided to do a little take on it where I played with the word tail, because the word tail is a homophone. Not a homophone? We don't have homophobic foxes here. We love the gays. Homophone, which is basically a word that is spelt two different ways and has two different meanings, but is said the same way. So I'm taking the word tail, which could either mean the tail of an animal or a story, like a short story being a tale. So I decided to combine this word with a kitsune, being that each kitsune has a different tale, as per se. And the longer the story, the longer the tail is. So that's why they're wrapped around like that, because they go from being like a really fluffy, soft thing into a paper-like texture, which was what I was aiming for. What I also really wanted to do here was to give them a bit more of an ethereal space theme. Make them galaxy, because why not? I love galaxies. But my process here was a little bit all over the place. I used a bunch of different materials. I kind of regret some of them, but they still ended up working well. For example, what you can see me using right now are pan inks from Koh-i-No, I think. Basically, it's an ink, and it acts like a watercolor, but it's an ink. The issue I was having is my paper didn't really like wet media, so I still tried it. I still kind of forced it to work, and it did work in the end, but there was a lot of going back and forth, waiting for it to dry, trying not to absolutely murder the paper. And I had to be extremely careful with the left side of the page, because on the other side of that is the last drawing I posted, which was the princess. So this is my next double page spread, the very next one. But I'm really happy with how these turned out. There was a lot... Sorry, I keep saying There was a lot of process going into this with the faces. I keep saying I'm so sorry. There's nervousness and I overtalk. Anyway. Star foxes with story tales, yes. I used a lot of purples and blues. Mainly I wanted like a vibrant pink, and then I went over it with blue for the rest of the body, so that like all the markings of the fox would come out as this purpley pink color, whilst the rest of it would be blue. I did it just because I like the colors, to be honest. Now, I was having an issue here. I zoomed in so you can see it, where the watercolor was actually starting to eat through to the next page, and you can tell by those dark spots. Weirdly enough, I had the same issue with actual watercolor paper, just really cheap stuff, but this still shouldn't have happened. But I can understand it in this book, because this book really isn't meant for it. As you can tell here, I got a bit fed up with trying to make the watercolors work. Even though I love the vibrancy, it just was eating through the paper. So I switched over to my Prismacolor pencils, and I use these quite a bit in this drawing. I do colour in the other foxes, but we're just going to spend our time with this one a little bit, because I really like him. I like his pose. The tails, I really, really tried hard with the tails to make them look like really papery, using like the actual paper of the page. And that might seem a little lazy, but it's because the page is cream in colour already, and I like that colour, so I wanted to work with it. My white pencil, as you can see, I had just tried to use on the belly, wasn't really picking it out so much. I don't know if it was the vibrancy of the blue of the inks, or if it was just because I was using really bad pencil. I don't know. I do go over it in a bit with like a white ink that I have, but what I did was, I used this on all the foxes, by the way. I mixed in a little bit of watercolor or ink pigment in with the white ink, and I made like a really opaque paint. It acted a little bit like gouache, but I don't think it would layer very well. but it worked for what I wanted it to do, and it's actually a technique I might try again, because I quite like that. I like using my white ink to add highlights and stuff, but I hadn't actually considered actually pigmenting it myself using other materials, and, well, it worked, and it worked really well. Like, I even layered it on top of the dark blue here just to add some more, like, variety. Oh, one thing I did notice about this fox specifically is that there's a little bit of green in the face. I'm not sure why. Oh yeah, this one. Sorry, live commentary, speaking very quickly. I did record more the process of this one, like the entirety of the drawing. This one was done completely in Prismacolor pencils, other than the gold ink I used for little details. But what had happened is I had recorded it in the wrong orientations. You can see it should have been a landscape drawing, and that was because I wanted to post it as a short form content video onto YouTube Shorts, but I couldn't work out how to edit it properly because, like, even though I had intended to film it vertically, it decided to change it to landscape, so I was having issues there. I'm still learning my software that I'm using to edit, so you're gonna have to bear with me. Once I get it figured out, you might actually see this video if it comes out. On this fox, I went straight in with the Prismacolors, like just like the last one, even though you didn't see it. I went in, started building up. I started with the purpley pinks just to get like an undertone going, and it worked out really well, I think. It's all about building and building with Prismacolors. I like to go slowly just to make sure I have enough control, though sometimes I used to go really quickly with it and just like, bam, flat color. And it's like, oh dear, I can't layer it now. So now I'm forcing myself to slow down a bit. And I'm glad I did, because the gradients in this fox specifically turned out really well. However, I did go over it with the ink pans after I had done it. You won't see that quite yet, but it will come up. I'll point it out when it does. Reason being is that I decided I like the vibrancy of the one underneath it just a little bit more. So I decided just to give it a quick wash just to try and pick up some of that colour, but it ended up just blending everything together, and I had to go over it all again anyway. It didn't get rid of all the colours, but it really smoothed everything out when I really wanted that texture, you know? I mean, I thought, well, foxes, furry animals, you kind of want a bit of texture to, like, represent the fur. I zoom in here on the face so you can see what I'm doing with the cheeks and the blending and stuff. I just really liked how it turned out, so I wanted to showcase it a bit more. Yeah, this was a lot of work with the pencils, like, leading up to it. And even though it's quite vibrant here, I kept going with the pencils. I got impatient. Oh, I want to shout out this grey pencil. I don't even know what brand it is. It might have been, it says on the side. I can't remember right now. But it was a really nice grey pencil. It laid it down so nicely. I used it in the last drawing as well for the shadow. It ended up being really nice. Also, another thing is, yeah, that's where it happened. I cut it out for some reason. I had gone over it with a wash and it just killed off some of the texture, so I was adding it back in with the white ink mixed in with blue and a little bit of pink. I diluted it down like a lot just to like try and get shapes and not so much like tone. Going over the face again. Adding more purples, blah blah blah. I better not say blah 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 in my own drawing, huh? And also I better stop talking so quickly because I know it's causing issues for my own timing. But my favorite thing about the Kitsunes are basically their appearance and how cool they look. I need to do more research on them. I have looked into them in the past, but it was such a long time ago, I'm not even sure if I'm remembering things correctly, other than the fact that they can be tricksters. Yeah, I have another Kitsune drawing coming, so I might actually look up some more facts before I record that, just so I can like talk about it a bit more. I want to talk about this gold ink. I'm running low on it, dangerously low, and that's a problem because it's one of my favorite materials to use in sketchbooks, just for a little bit of sparkle. There you go. I'm wiggling it around so you can see it. Oh, this fox, I used, I didn't use Prismacolor pencils, I used Inktense pencils. I had these gifted to me by some old lecturers back when I left college, and they are some of my favorite art supplies to use in a sketchbook. It's a shame the paper here just does not want to work with them. They're like watercolor pencils, except instead of watercolor, it's inks, so they become out a lot more vibrant, especially after layering them a couple times. Like, I only put like a soft layer down there so I can get like an idea of what I needed for the colours, and then while it was still wet I went in with the pencils again and it picked out so much pigment out of these pencils. It was amazing. I could swear it. I could have eaten it. Oh, I'm kind of hungry now actually. Get some Snickies. It really picked out the colours really well. I really liked how this one came out. It's not the same as the one on the left, which was my favourite fox, but sadly the footage didn't cover it properly, but you know. Also, quick talk about the camera quality. I'm still working out the kinks of that. It's quite blurry here, but that's because I zoomed in post for most of this fox. I did zoom in with, I did actually move the camera closer to it before I finish, but I should have done it earlier than I did, so that's why it's kind of blurry. I'm still trying to figure out how to make my videos more higher quality, because everything is just kind of at the moment. Like, I'm not sure what's going on with my, well, with my camera quality. It should be better than that, because my phone's not, like, terrible. There you go, it's better than it was, but still, it could be better. And I'm just not sure why it isn't better. But I will figure it out before the next video. At least I will try to. Oh, this pencil. I was using an old packet of Prismacolors, and that's why they were so short. I have got a new packet, and you will see one of the pencils from the new packet in the moment, but you can see the moment I got fed up of getting a hand cramp because of how small this pencil was. I was losing patience with it, so I just went, and I gave up with it right there and then. And then I grabbed a bigger one, my new one, and I jabbed it out the way, because screw that. I am not dealing with more hand cramp than I need to. Which I get a lot of, because I draw, like, a lot. But I don't finish anything. But I am finishing things now. So, huzzah! Back to lining. I really like this dark blue. I used it to line all of the foxes, mainly because the red pencil I had initially sketched with, I wanted to line it with that, but it just didn't look right. So I went back over it with the blue. You can see me going back in with the gold paint here. Just doing some final touch-ups, and that's the end of it. This is my full double-page spread of my foxes. I hope you liked it. I know I certainly enjoyed drawing it. Hopefully next time my camera quality is going to be less bad, and maybe I won't ramble so much. I need to figure out a better way of speaking. I don't think I could follow a script, personally, only because my dyslexia doesn't allow for it, and I'll stumble even more. So it's a matter of me learning to slow down, really. Anyway, thank you for actually sticking around and watching this video. It was shorter than the last one, but again, that's due to editing hiccups. Anyway, thank you, goodbye!